Welcome. I'm Marty. You must be Chris.
Yes, that is me. Thanks, Marty. Thanks for having me.
And are you in Christchurch?
I am in Christchurch. Yeah, I'm just sitting in my flat. I'm moving out in 2 days, so everything's currently in the process of upheaval and being shifted into boxes.
Oh, how come you're moving?
Everyone's kind of moving into different places. My flatmate is going out on a big 7-week tour, so he wanted to move out, and we were all kind of ready for a change. So yeah,
Gotcha.
everyone's parting ways.
Sounds like fun. And how is it in Christchurch? Are things kind of back to normal, whatever that is?
Yeah, things are getting there. It's definitely feeling like there's lots going on at the moment, which is nice. I've been here I've been here my whole life, so I've kind of been through the whole quake thing and witnessing the city getting revitalized and back up on its feet.
Right.
Yeah, and it feels nice now. There's lots of spots in town to go check out, and there's it feels like a good time to be doing stuff. You know, and Christchurch is reasonably cheap to live here, and people can sort of take chances and try stuff out, I feel, without maybe too much risk. So it feels like a fun time to be here.
Cool. And you teach music as well as making it, right?
I do, yeah. So yeah, by day, I'm an itinerant music teacher, so I teach bass guitar to kids from kind of intermediate age through high school, and then I have a few adult students as well.
Right.
So kind of 50-50 between the bass teaching and then teaching production and recording, how to produce music on computers, which is kind of something that's become a really big interest for me in the last few years.
Very good. So it must be nice to be able to interact with kids and that are kind of just getting their first thoughts around music and making music. How does that affect your music making?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Kids are just so wide open in their approaches and their attitudes, and so it is quite fun to just see their faces light up when they try something out, or when they sort of get a buzz of writing their first piece of music, or learning how to use effects on tracks they've recorded, or sometimes I'll bring in like my drum machine and kind of teach them how to use that. I just feel like kids have sort of really easy access to creativity, which somewhere along the way seems to sort of get blocked or more difficult for adults to delve into if they haven't done it before.
Yeah. And is bass your main instrument?
Yeah, bass is my main instrument. So yeah, that's what I studied when I went through the Christchurch Jazz School a few years ago.
Right.
I started off on piano as a kid. Didn't really enjoy it, but my parents kind of forced me to do it, which looking back, I'm thankful for, because it was like a very grounding instrument.
Yep.
And then I moved on to, had a brief stint on the trumpet. I sucked at that, so I kind of stopped after about a year, probably because I never practiced. Might be something
You need to
do
practice the trumpet. Got to keep those lips in shape.
I know, right? Yeah, it's a pretty unforgiving instrument. Kind of wish that they kept going with it. But then I moved on to drums, did that for a few years. That was kind of my main instrument through most of high school, dabbled on the guitar a bit. And then I kind of found the bass, or the bass found me in year 13, probably the classic story, where some friends were making a band to enter the RockQuest competition.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I can't play bass, but I can play a bit of guitar, I can play a bit of drums. How hard can it be?
It's only got 4 strings.
Exactly. So just jumped on, somehow made it through, and then kind of discovered the buzz of writing music and playing music in a band.
Right.
And from there, that's kind of been what I've been doing since. Really.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So your EP, Light Shines Above, just came out last month around this time, I believe.
Yes, it did.
What was it like putting it out in this environment that we're in?
Yeah, it was, it felt good. I planned to release it in April and do a national tour then, but obviously COVID happened, and so I've just postponed it. But yeah, it felt nice. I mean, most of the tracks have been sitting there for quite a while, so it felt really good to kind of throw them off the hard drive and throw them into the world.
And
especially during these times, feel very lucky to be able to play live gigs,
Yep. And what kind of response have you been getting from your songs, your EPs, and your live gigs so far?
Yeah, it's been really positive. Playing them live is such a different thing to just conceiving them in your room by yourself, kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So it's really satisfying to be able to take those songs, which feel like such a solitary, intimate thing most of the time,
right?
And to be able to share them in a room and kind of see people's response to them and see people dancing and stuff. It kind of makes it feel more communal, I guess.
And I saw you did a music video for "Don't Forget," the track, and I was wondering where it was shot. It was quite an interesting landscape.
My patience, it deserts me when quiet and comfort seem out of reach. All the gifts you gave to me, were they mine to keep? 'Cause still the current pulls me to the deep. Summer's out, fools rushing for the score. Have their fill, then walk right out the door. When it's gone, vivid colors fade away. Try not to look back, but how can I do that? Shrouded in smoke, we close our eyes.
Yeah, so that was shot in the Clay Cliffs near Omarama, or Twizel, kind of down in sort of central Otago way.
Right.
And yeah, that kind of came about because I was on holiday with my family over the summer, and we were just passing by, and there was a sign, Clay Cliffs, I don't know, 10 kilometers or something. And I was like, I've heard the name many times, but I'd never been. So I twisted my family's arm to go and have a look. And I was pretty taken with the place. It just seems like such a sort of alien landscape, so unlike anything else around it. Kind of felt like you're suddenly on the moon or something, just a very dramatic landscape. And I hadn't even really planned on making a music video, but just in my mind it was like, I just have to make a music video here. And so then a couple of months later, convinced some friends to come down with me, and it was pretty ambitious. It was just a day trip, and I think it's about a 5 or 6 hour drive either way from Christchurch.
Right.
So we kind of left at midday, got down there at 5 or 6 p.m, knowing that we only had about three or 4 hours of usable light. But that was kind of the time of day that we wanted anyway. Right. So just shot like crazy. It was a bit of a mad dash for a few hours, and then drove home, got back at about 2 a.m. or something.
And what was it about the song? Why did you choose to do the song "Don't Forget" to shoot that as the video?
Yeah, I kind of felt like "Don't Forget" would hopefully feel universal. I felt like it was a song that hopefully the sentiment behind it would connect with people. Right. And in terms of the sound of the song, I just kind of felt like it would be an ideal first song from the EP to share. It sort of feels like it encapsulates a lot of my influences.
Which are what?
Song. What's that?
What are your influences?
Oh yeah, all sorts. But I guess for this EP in particular, it was a lot more folk influenced than my previous one, which was sort of a bit more electronic-y and synth heavy. Right. I felt kind of more comfortable with this one, playing a bit more bass and just having more space in the music. Right. And I think, yeah, that was influenced by a few people like Sufjan Stevens. I'm a big fan of him. His album Carrie and Lowell, which came out a few years ago, had a huge impact on me. I don't know if you've heard that one. But yeah, just the directness of it, and I just love the songwriting. I love how it feels like nothing's wasted in it, but it's still pretty sparse. Moses Sumney was another big influence. I've been a really big fan of him for a few years. Just the way that he uses his voice, especially in the higher register, definitely encouraged me to try and sing a bit higher. He's just a very, very interesting creative artist. Cool. So yeah, those are probably two at the forefront amongst a few others. Okay.
And so now you're coming up here in Auckland for a Halloween show.
Yes, that's right. I didn't actually realize it was Halloween at the time I booked it, but now I'm like, oh, how can I incorporate something Halloweenish into the set? Who knows?
You just have to wear a mask. You're all good.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is my music is so, a lot of it's pretty relaxed and sort of low key. I might have to get my keyboardist to load up some horror movie sound patches or something.
There you go. That'll keep things hopping. So what can we expect when you get it? You're playing at the Wine Cellar, right?
Yes, I'm playing at the Wine Cellar alongside two great bands that I'm excited to see. Being, who I haven't heard her live before. I've heard a bit of her stuff recorded, and one kind of solo show on YouTube. Right. So I'm really excited to hear that. And a good friend of mine, Nick Dow. I've played with him quite a lot in the past when he was living in Christchurch. So he's playing with his band too. And then I'm bringing up my band, so it's me singing and playing bass. And then I've got a drummer and a keyboardist as well, so 3-piece.
Sounds big. Sounds big. So is this just a one-off gig, or are you doing more?
It's just a one-off. So the last few weekends I've been playing a bunch of South Island shows. So I played Christchurch, Dunedin, Oamaru, Blenheim, and Maraho.
Right.
So Auckland's kind of like the finale.
Gotcha.
The bookend of the tour.
And how does the country feel to you, right? Since you've been around and travel, I've been stuck in Auckland all in my apartment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it feels so good to be able to travel around again. That's the first time I've been to a few of those spots in quite a while.
Right.
And so it was just a lot of fun. I mean, if nothing else, it reconfirmed that all these cities do, in fact, exist still. None of them have just disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maraho in particular was really cool. The venue was just called Tim's Place, and it's just this legend guy called Tim. I don't know if you've heard of it before. He's been putting on shows at his house for about 10 years now, on and off. I think my one was sort of the second one of the year for him or something. But just a really generous, hospitable people. And it was pretty isolated, so I was kind of concerned that we'd be playing just to ourselves and the sound person or something. But it was just great. All the community came along. It was well attended and just had a really nice atmosphere to it.
Cool. So I assume you're playing songs from the EP. You got any new stuff that you've been working on since then?
Yes. Yeah. So mostly songs from the EP, but I've probably got maybe 3 or so songs in the set that I've written since writing those ones.
Right.
Including one that's kind of all about this year. It's called October, and the lyric is like, "It's nearly October, the year will be over before it could begin." So it's sort of that sort of sentimentality of like grieving what you've lost, but also trying to, find some optimism for the future as well.
Yeah, well, I think we're fairly lucky. If we're going to be optimistic, this is the place to be. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I feel so lucky. Reading the world news and the US and everything that's going on. I feel very lucky to be here, and with such a great leadership.
Yes, excellent. I think everybody feels that way, or at least most of us. So that's cool. All righty. Well, can't wait to see you when you come up here. It's just a few days away.
Oh, thank you very much.
I can't believe it's almost Halloween.
I know, it's so bizarre.
Strange year, man.
I'm looking forward to coming up to Auckland. I mean, I would normally come up every few months or so.
Right.
But last time I was up was for my sister's wedding at the start of February. So yeah, it feels like it's been a long time coming for sure.
It's a whole new world out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
All righty. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Righto. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Great. Thanks so much.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.